Rated E for everyone. Sega.
Hi there, I'm Guy Wilday. I'm going to talk to you today about the original Sega Rally, which was obviously the inspiration behind what we've done with the new next gen version we've been developing. This is an original Sega Rally machine that we sourced specifically for the studio. We got obviously from the Sega Arcade division. Original game was released in 1995. It was developed in Japan on the Model 2 arcade board. It's still an enormously popular machine. There's something about this machine, there's something about the way it plays and the way it handles that has kept it enormously current and enormously popular right up till today. We love this game, we play this lots, and I've obviously played it lots as part of the development of this. So I'm sort of going to go through some of the key things, I guess, that we've taken out of this and tried to move into the next gen version. And there were really three things, I think, three key elements that we've taken from this original game. So if I fire this up, I can take you through them. So the first thing, at the time, these visuals were absolutely state of the art. It's one of the first 3D arcade games that Sega made. Obviously, you can see the entire environment is sort of texture mapped. One of the first sort of texture mapped games. The cars obviously have certainly much more polygon detail than anything else that was available at the time. You look at these visuals now and you sort of compare it to modern day graphics, and obviously they look very simple and very primitive, but certainly at the time in 1995 this was absolutely cutting edge, state of the art. And that's something we really wanted to do with the next gen version. We really wanted to get a similar sort of look and feel. We wanted the same sort of bright, vibrant look of the game. We wanted sort of the blue skies and the very sort of vibrant environment, but at the same time we wanted to push the graphics hardware as much as we could and use all of the features of the new technology, and we can obviously show you that later on. Next thing really was the way the car handles, and even today this game is still an absolute joy to drive. It was the first real game that sort of created loose surfaces and loose handling, and gave you the ability to be able to sort of really feel like you were driving a high performance car off road. And you've got this lovely sort of, you can get these lovely power slides where you get the car sort of sliding around corners, but you're in perfect control the whole time. It feels like you can decide when the car's sliding and when it's not. And obviously that I'm sure is key to its success. It's definitely something we wanted to capture and wanted to emulate, because we wanted obviously our game to be as enjoyable to play as this one still is. Third thing really was the sort of close competition, the very close racing you get with this game, and really to do that need obviously another person in the cabinet. So Mark's going to come and help out here. The key thing about this was that the whole time it's really close. You're never really sure who's gonna win and how the race is going to progress. You always feel like you're very close to the other player. You're both sort of competing the whole time around the track. You're never really sure, as I say, which player's going to get an advantage on a corner, which player's is going to win. Very different from a lot of current games. Very different from a lot of games at the moment, where it's all about fender bashing. It's all about sort of punching people out of the way. This is definitely a game of skill and finesse more than anything else. It's about controlling the car around the track and controlling it, you know, in slides around the corners. It's about getting that edge on the competitor in different parts and different areas of the track. Okay, so that's the sort of the close competitive, the final sort of close competitive element of this game. We'll show you the next gen version now and show you sort of show you some key parts of how we've moved these features onto the next gen version. Okay, so we're going to talk about those three key areas from the original arcade game and just see how we've applied them to the next gen version here. So this is a safari environment, so I guess this is sort of similar to the desert environment you saw on the original arcade game. So if I just fire this up, again, first thing we talked about with the arcade was the graphics, was the look of the game, and you can see here we've sort of the style is very similar. We've used all of these next gen features. We've really tried to make it very vibrant, but to sort of still capture that Sega look and feel. So it's very bright and colourful. you know, you can see all of the sort of the detail in the environment itself. I know we've talked about the surfaces and what's happening with those at sort of in great length, but you can sort of see the general look we've gone for is something that's very similar, but obviously just brought up to date with all of the new technology that we've got available to us now. The second area we talked about with the arcade was handling, and this is something we've spent a lot of time on, really trying hard to sort of get it so that you can slide the car around corners. The idea here is that, you know, we wanted that same sort of controllable behaviour from the rally car, that you could sort of, you felt like you were really driving a high performance car off road, but the fact that you can get these really nice controlled power slides. Again, we've talked before, we're doing a lot more with the surfaces are changing as you drive around. You can obviously see a lot more detail in what's happening with the surface itself, and obviously you feel that when you're driving. But fundamentally we wanted it to be really easy to pick up and play, and sort of really fun to be able to sort of, again, get these nice big controlled sort of high speed slides around corners. Key part of the original game, and certainly something we wanted to incorporate here. And finally, if I just restart this, obviously is the sort of the whole close competitive element. We've moved it forward. We've got 6 cars now as opposed to the 2 cars in the original. So we've made it a different sort of race. But at the same time, it's really important for us that you've sort of got this pack of cars that are all competing. It's like everyone wants to win. It's really close. They're all again sort of, you know, trying to control these cars in this difficult off-road environment, but it's sort of, you're never quite sure who's going to get in front of you around the next corner, or what you're going to do around the next corner. So it's about that really sort of close pack racing. So that's the background. That's effectively the original arcade and why it was an inspiration for sort of what we've done here. Obviously lots more to show you. Look forward to showing you more in the future.